I wasn't expecting this, but the OnePlus 15 might be the first OnePlus in years that actually over-delivers instead of just trying to stand out. And the funny thing is, the most impressive part isn't what they added, it's what they stopped doing. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. For years, OnePlus has been stuck trying to survive in this iPhone Galaxy Pixel triangle. Every generation felt like the company was chasing some different for the sake of different identity. But after spending time with the OnePlus 15, it finally feels like they paused, took a breath, and asked, what do people actually want in a phone? And that shift alone changes everything. The first place you notice it is the design, or honestly, the lack of it. The moment you look at the OnePlus 15, it's plain. No iconic curves, no alert slider, no signature style. From a distance, you could mistake it for an iPhone clone. And at first, that's disappointing. But the longer you use it, the more this plain design starts to make sense. Flat sides mean better durability when it inevitably slips out of your hand. The flat screen is a relief for anyone who's ever fought with a screen protector. And that tougher IP rating, it feels like the phone is actually built for the real world rather than a design contest. It's not a design I'd fall in love with, but it's definitely one I appreciate. Then there's the camera, the part that looked like a downgrade on paper. Smaller sensor, no Hasselblad branding, all the clues suggested OnePlus was taking a step back. But the actual photos tell a completely different story. Shots look more natural, warmer, and way less over-sharpened than before. The move to 26-megapixel default photos brings out noticeably more detail, and night mode finally looks like night, not like a glowing HDR volcano. It's not perfect, the ultra-wide still feels colder, and the lack of simple features like adding portrait blur later is a weird omission, but this genuinely doesn't feel like a mid-range camera anymore. It's just good. Like, really good. But the thing that truly slaps you in the face is the performance. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is an absolute beast. Even if you're not a gamer, the difference is impossible to ignore. No throttling, crazy stability under heavy load, and the phone feels like it's built for people who want pure speed. Pair that with OnePlus's obsession with animation smoothness and their 165Hz support in certain games, and the whole experience feels snappier than what most competitors are offering, even the expensive ones. What surprised me even more, though, is how fairly OnePlus handles its storage and RAM upgrades. You're not being punished or upsold like other FERT companies. The base model already gives you 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, but for just $100 more, you get 16 gigabytes of Ultra Plus RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, which feels like a no-brainer if you plan to keep the phone for a few years. But let's talk about the part that honestly shocked me the most: battery life. A 7,300 milliamp hour battery in a phone that costs less than a lot of flagships with only 5,000 milliamp hours? It almost feels unfair. And the real-world results back it up. Over 30 hours of light use, 12 hours of YouTube, nearly 14 hours of gaming. This is a phone that casually hits 2 days of use even when you're not trying. And when you do run low, 45-minute full charging feels like cheating compared to what Samsung and Apple offer. Of course, it's not all perfect. And honestly, all the downsides orbit around software. The UI leans a little too close to iOS to the point where it feels like an identity crisis. Some apps still look unpolished with weird spacing or font sizes, and the 4-year update policy, while decent, still trails behind Samsung and Google. There are also a few hardware nitpicks. The screen's insane brightness isn't matched by strong anti-reflective coating. The lack of Key 2 magnetic wireless charging is disappointing in 2025, and the speakers get loud but muddy. None of these break the experience, but they do hold the phone back from being a true no-brainer flagship. So after living with the OnePlus 15, where does it actually land? Honestly, this might be the most well-rounded OnePlus in years. If you need the absolute best camera experience, you'll still find better options from Apple and Samsung. But if you're okay with very good, you get a phone with insane battery life, class-leading charging, top-tier performance, and a price that doesn't punish your wallet. The OnePlus 15 might not be the flashiest phone of the year, but it might finally be the one that gets the essentials right. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what matters. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.